Hi guys, my name is Joy, and in this video, we are going to talk about something that might be very real for you, especially for those of you who have been single for a while or stuck in situationships or dynamics that has got your heart doubting the possibility of the love that you really want. So we are going to explore the difference between protecting yourself when it comes to love versus showing up from a place of self-trust. Because honestly, I see so many people who they say they want the deep connection, they say they want the expansive, fulfilling type of love, but they are unknowingly living from a place that actually blocks it. So if you are skeptical about love, if you are exhausted from bracing for disappointment or hurt, or feeling like something must be wrong with you for not having the kind of love you want, stay with me here. This is not about blame, but it's about uncovering what's beneath the surface and why it matters so much. So let's start with something honest here. When you have been hurt in the past, when you have been let down in the past before, your body, your nervous system remembers that. The heartbreak, the betrayal, the abandonment, even the subtle, slow burned kind of inconsistencies or games, hot and cold games, that wires your brain to stay alert. So you start scanning for the early signs of being let down. You read into the tone shifts, the late replies, the emotional distance that you sense. Your brain here is not trying to ruin love for you, but it's actually trying to protect you from ever feeling that kind of pain again, because it knows how much it hurts. That is not a flaw. That is not something that is wrong with you. It's simply survival. And what ends up happening is this, that hypervigilance, that becomes the lens through you look at love through. You are no longer actually experiencing love, but you become the manager for it. You are managing love, trying to keep it from slipping away before it's even had a chance to fully land with you. And so when you are in this type of protection mode that I like to say, the goal actually quietly shifts from being in the relationship to preserving it. So what I mean is this, you might end up people pleasing just to keep the peace, just to keep them around. You might find yourself saying the things that you think will keep them around and keep them interested in you, instead of just speaking your truth and being who you authentically are. You might overthink everything that they say and everything you said. You might withdraw before they can even pull away so that you prevent yourself from being hurt. You might numb out when it gets too vulnerable with someone that you're starting to build this relationship with. And you think that you're being careful, but in reality, you're actually disconnecting. And ironically, that type of guardedness, that self-protection creates exactly what you are fearing, which is disconnection, the disappointment, the emotional distance, the lack of understanding between two people. Intimacy doesn't grow in surveillance, right? It grows in presence. It grows in being in the here and now with them, in the honesty, in the openness. But when you are constantly assessing the threats, trying to fix things before they break, or strategizing about how to be safe in love, you are not actually in the relationship. You are managing it like a project. Except the thing is, you are not getting paid to be a manager for this project. And here is another misconception that I want to share with you. A lot of people believe that before they open up again, they need to get rid of the fears, of every single fear-based pattern that they have within them. They wait until they feel perfectly ready, like some sort of internal green light is suddenly going to go off. But let's be real here. The green light will rarely come, because that fear, it doesn't disappear before you leap. In fact, the real shift actually happens when you choose differently, even while that fear is still there. It might be saying, I know I've been hurt before. I know it's scary, but I'm not letting that decide how I show up anymore. And that is the precise moment that you start building self-trust, because you start becoming bigger than your past programming and your past experiences that had led you to this internal blueprint that you had built around protecting yourself when it came to love. Now, self-trust is not built in comfort. It's actually built in the discomfort of still choosing yourself in the moments that feel very hard, still speaking up your truth, still being honest with your values and what you want for yourself, still letting someone see you in your vulnerability, even if your voice starts to shake. That's how you become someone who can actually hold on to that deeper love and build that capacity to experience that deep, fulfilling love that you keep saying you want. Not because the fear's gone, but simply because it's no longer running the show. You're no longer giving it the authority to run the show because you see it, you acknowledge it, but you don't let it dictate your moves and how you show up. When you're moving from self-trust, everything will start to feel different because you are no longer going to ask, how do I keep this person? How do I keep this relationship? How do I keep them around so that they don't leave me and that I won't ever be alone again? You are asking, am I honoring myself right now in this dynamic? Do I have the space to honor myself? Do I have the space to speak up and be myself in this relationship? You speak your truth, not to control the outcome, not to get something out of someone, but because you refuse to abandon yourself. You do not micromanage. You do not feel the need to perform. You don't need your partner to constantly reassure you. You don't need that hit of dopamine, that external validation that you want your partner to give you. Because you have actually started to show up as someone who actually has your own back. You stop negotiating your needs. You stop negotiating your values and your standards, and you stop shrinking in the fear that being too much will scare them away. And here is the beauty of this all. When you are no longer bracing or bargaining, you actually make space for real love, the kind that meets you, and not the version of you that is walking on eggshells in order to keep this person around or this relationship around because you are too scared of being alone or facing the part of you that is feeling abandoned and unchosen. So here is the truth that no one says directly enough. You have probably been in protection mode for way too long, and it's done its job. It's kept you safe. It's kept you in the illusion of safety. But guess what? It's also kept you lonely. It's kept you guarded. It's kept you skeptical, stuck in loops that feel like love, but never really land. And it's time to make a different choice, not the reckless kind, not the naive kind either, but the grounded, self-honoring, self-trusting choice to stop racing and to just opening yourself up and allow yourself to receive the love that is already around you and the love that is soon to come. Experiencing love doesn't require you to be perfectly regulated all the time and perfectly healed and this perfect idealized version of yourself that you put out for others to love, but it requires you to be present in the here and now. So maybe today's the day that you stop scanning for danger and you start scanning for what your truth is. Who are you as a person before anyone even enters your world or leaves it? Who are you as an individual? What do you stand for? What are your values? What are your hobbies and passions and your dreams that you have pushed aside by trying to keep and hold on to someone that isn't even showing you that they are worthy of your love and attention? Start scanning for your truth and start following that truth that you access within you, because that will always lead you to a higher and more expansive love that meets you at the place that you need to be met, rather than you always lowering your standards for someone who just drains you and makes your soul contract in fear and anxiety. You got this, guys. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I see you, and I will talk to you guys again in the next video. Bye.